Cleveland, Ohio. My name is Steve Moose. I lived in Kaiserslautern from 2018 to 2021. When I arrived there, I didn't know anybody. I was one guy in a strange city, and I decided, hey, I'm an American guy, I like my sports, so I had to find a way to get my sports fix here locally. And I decided to, hey, get into what we call soccer or football. And I went to my first game. I believe it was September or October. I arrived in August, and it was from that moment on, it was somebody stuck a needle in my arm and said, "Here's a new drug for you to try." And I've been addicted ever since. I've met some amazing people. The journey from there to here is, you can't explain it in words. It's something that you have to go through and experience, because I'm 46 now. I was 42, 43 when I was over there, and I played soccer in high school, but never really followed it on the professional level. And I was told, hey, if you want to meet local German people, the best way to do it is to get into a club, because Germans like clubs. They like walking clubs and biking clubs and all kinds of clubs. So I got into a football club, and from that moment on, it has opened up so many doors, meeting people that I probably wouldn't have ever met, forming amazing friendships, some of which, like you, I consider family now. And that's where I'm coming from. A fresh American into K-Town, where there's a lot of Americans because of the military bases there. And I happened to land my first apartment in Erlenbach, and I think really the first club that I started to watch was FC Erlenbach, which is a little village to the north of K-Town, a little bit northeast, Otterbach, Otterberg, a little bit to the east of the city. And that was pretty much my first experience with German football. I would say, what's the word I'm looking for? Not meaning to go there. I was walking, and I walked through the village, and I stumbled upon this football field, and they were playing. So I started watching them. Then 2 weeks later, I moved into my permanent K-Town apartment in Stadtpark, and that was really, really perfect. Really close to work, really close to the stadium. I could walk from my place to the Zwiftenman in 8 minutes, and it became a my routine on match day. Get up at 8 in the morning, get breakfast, leave the house at around 10, go to the Zwiftenman, go to the Betzebud, which I think back when I arrived was Bushaltestelle, I think.
Yeah, the Bushaltestelle, yeah.
Yeah, that became part of tradition, and then walking up the steps to the Holy Mountain and drinking another beer up there, and it started my Saturday tradition.
Sounds very, very good. So, we heard a lot of things about you, and I'm very happy that you share your experience. So, let me introduce myself real quick. My name is Matze. I'm running this YouTube channel for a couple of years now, and one of the biggest parts is, of course, football. And my good friend Steve over here just came up with the idea to make it like an international thing, like going with English. And please excuse my bad English, because I'm not a native American speaker or English speaker, but I try my best to make myself understandable. Usually I try to talk English a little while we're doing like match reaction streams or something, but still I'm, as I said, not a native American or English speaker. So for me, K-Town is, or Kaiserslautern, or whatever you want to call it, is one of the biggest parts of my life. I'm a K-Town fan since I'm 5 years old or something. And I've seen so many games. I've been through everything, like the German championship in 1998. And then we got relegated and promoted and relegated again till to the third league, which we're left last season in a very, very nerve exhausting finale at the end, with 2 very hard games against Dynamo Dresden, which we get promoted then. So we're here, 2022-2023, the season. We started with a home game against Hannover 69. What are your thoughts about the game, man?
Actually, I want to go back to the promotion.
I don't want me to interrupt, but one of the things which we agreed about is when we're doing this thing here, we're trying to make it like a bar talk or something. And when you're sitting in a bar, you have to get some drinks, right? The same sound everywhere. Cheers, brother.
Prost.
Prost.
I love that I can still get this stuff pretty easily over here, and it tastes the same. I thought it would taste different over here, but apparently the beer that they make over there gets exported over here. I don't know if this gets brewed here. I think it's all exported, but usually export beer sometimes tastes a little bit different.
Yeah, it has another kind of flavor. That's absolutely right. Yeah.
But this tastes, it tastes like I was drinking it over there. So a little piece of home here.
That's so nice. So I don't mind to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, let's go back to the promotion.
Yeah.
I know you were in Dresden.
Oh yeah.
We were both at the home match, which, you talk about the energy. The atmosphere, the tension, because this was the biggest match that up until that point the team had played in many years. I think. Oh yeah. If you look at the matches against Mainz and Nuremberg in the Pokal, they were big, but they were just cup matches. These weren't. This wasn't. These weren't deciding, hey, you're going to go up or down.
Exactly.
These were, hey, we've got 2 games against them. We need to win. And when I arrived there, I think it was maybe 4 days before I landed. I think I landed on a Thursday, and in that Friday, I was still kind of recovering from the jet lag, and I went into the city and walking around my old neighborhoods and seeing everybody with K-Town shirts, hats. It was so special to see that city in the spotlight again.
With so much pride. With so much pride. Everybody was pride again to be a part of the city, a part of this area, a part of K-Town, of Kaiserslautern, yeah.
But the first match, we met up for the fan march there in the Altstadt, and
that was great.
Marching all the way to the stadium, singing dee 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 dee.
No. Oh, sorry.
No. Hey, we'll sing the whole thing.
Scheiß Dynamo.
That was really something. And of course, we know how the first match ended, in a draw. And then the nerves really, everybody, all the tension really started ratcheting up. Now we have to go on the road into a very loud stadium. Dresden fans, I know most people know this, but they're pretty loud. They make a lot of smoke and pyrotechnics displays. Their displays in their fan curve, the choreography are. Dresden does it really, really good.
For the people who are not familiar, if you're talking about ultra culture in German football, you always think about Dresden, which has one of the biggest and most hardcore fan base in Germany. So even if they're in third league right now, they're so extreme. They're so passionate. These are real hardcore guys there.
Exactly.
So yeah.
But to go up there, and you were there. I
Yes.
was in the stadium for the watch party with your lovely and talented wife, Bella. I met her right before the match started. We were trying to find our seats, and she's like, "Oh, I'm up here." I can't remember where we were at. It was in the Student Tribune, I think.
North.
Oh, north. That's right. Okay, my directions are all flipped around.
Oh,
but,
no problem.
Yeah. I saw her briefly, I think before, and then again sometime after where we got our photo taken. But for anybody that was there that night when we won and we promoted was, in my lifetime, the #2 best sports moment that I've ever lived. And #1 being when my local NBA basketball team won the NBA championship in 2016. That was a big deal to me because it had ended a 52-year curse where the city of Cleveland did not have a championship in any sport. Baseball, football, basketball. For a while we had hockey. So that moment was
very
huge.
important.
But when we finally promoted and the match was over, and I mean, I think after we scored that second goal when Herschel put it in, and you felt this weight come off of your shoulders, and you start touching it, like, is this real? Is this finally happening? And just to be there that night, I still think about it every night.
Me too.
Hearing the singing, partying until 8 a.m. the next day, total strangers just hugging each other. It was one big family, and I cried. When that whistle blew, I cried like I did in 2016. And then we all, a few of my friends jumped over the rail and went onto the field, and then all of a sudden, the gates were open and everybody was on the pitch. And just an incredible moment. I don't think any fan base, any city in Germany deserved that night more than we did. Period.
Agreed, brother. Because we played a very good season with a little struggle at the end, but in the most important games, as you said, we were there.
Yeah.
And as you said, I've been in Dresden, and it was such a crazy day. We started at I think it was 9 a.m. with an extra train just for the Kaiserslautern fans up to Dresden, and the block was so packed. It was so loud. The home team, of course, as I said, Dresden is a very good fan base, but we were there. Even though we were way behind, like, people-ish, you know what I mean? With the amount of people which were there, we were very loud. And when they scored the second time, I just fell down. Like, is this really going to happen? Is this really going to work out? Because on my 30th birthday, we got relegated. And then we stuck for 4 years in this league. Yeah. And it was so much pain. We had so much trouble with even getting again relegated into the 4th league. But then it was so great. And then the party on the train, of course, and then the party in K-Town. I can't describe the feeling. And even I know that we were promoted. It took me weeks to realize it. And when I was standing in the block again at the first game in 2nd league, and the whistle blowed, then I realized it's really happening, and we're really back on the biggest, one of the biggest, in the 2nd biggest league of Germany.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Even today, I still sometimes have to pinch myself and say, man, when you look at the teams that we're playing every week now, this coming Sunday, it's St. Pauli.
It is.
And when you spend 4 years looking at teams like Werl and 1860 Munich and Victoria Berlin and for a while Karlsruhe Siena, and you're seeing these bigger clubs now.
Groß Asbach. Nobody ever have heard about this freaking town. No. Not even the people who live there know where they are.
No. They're like, we have a football team here?
Really? What the hell? The only thing they got is Helene Fischer, and that's enough.
Yeah. I loved going there, by the way.
Oh, me too. It was great.
That was my first away match.
Oh, really?
2018 was Grosses Bach.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was 2019. No, it was 2018, I think.
It was 18, yeah.
But
I've been there as well, man.
I remember going there and just seeing thousands of K-Town fans, because it wasn't that far away. I think, maybe 45 minutes by car, and you were there. Maybe an hour.
Roundabout, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, where are the home fans? And they're like, oh, it's that little group of people over there. I'm like, we've got like 5,000 fans in here, and they have like 200. It was like a home game. I
think it were 6,000 of us. It was really huge, but just for information, their fans are not very much, really, but I think they're very lovely, like cute. I would say it like this, because they have a banner. Do you call it banner or a flag or something?
Yeah.
And they say, could you be quiet for 2 minutes so our players can hear us too? And stuff like this. They know, they're self-aware that they have no fan base, no huge fan base, but they take it with a huge amount of humor, which I really like about them.
But that's you need clubs like that, because
yes.
I believe in supporting the team that you were born in, the city that you were born. I don't care if you're in the Bundesliga, if you're in the third league, if you're in the Oberliga or the Landesliga, you support your neighborhood team. And that, to me, is more important than championships or, fame or notoriety or any of that. You support the team in the city that you were born in. So exactly. I love those guys.
And as you said, you support the team with your neighborhood club. So it's easy to be a Bayern Munich fan, because they won the German championship like 10 times in a row now. So it's very easy to be a fan. And being a Kaiserslautern fan is, to put it in one word, for the last 20 years, is pain. Just pain. Because we had so many chances to do big things, and then we screwed it up in the last few steps. But it is more than just to be a fan for victory or something. I stick to my club. I love my club like I love my family, and it's such a huge part of my life with my friends. I wouldn't, brother, if Kaiserslautern wasn't there, so as the FC Kaiserslautern wasn't there, there is no chance that we ever met.
Yeah.
So this is football. Football connects people all over the world, and the love for Kaiserslautern is all over the world, with you, with the American Devils, with friends in China, in Israel, in Africa, in Brazil, in Argentina, in Norway, in Denmark, in Spain and stuff. This is so great. So this is one of the things why you came up with the idea to do this in English. So. Thank you very much for this great idea.
Most of that acknowledgement of K-Town and why it's so well known was from those championships in the 90s. And then also Fritz Walter, the Miracle of Bern in the 1950s. So he was, not only probably the greatest German football player ever, he played for K-Town. So that put K-Town on the map. And, through all the years that he played with his brother Altmar and Horst Eckel and all those players from that miracle team, legends. I don't think any other city in Germany has that kind of history with the classic players. I mean, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know, but
we won the German championship, of course, the World Championship more times than just 45, but the meaning of this victory is way bigger than, let's say, 74 or 90 or something. It was way back after Second World War, of course, and it meant so much to all of the German public. How do you call him? The Germans. They go.
Yeah, the
and
people, yeah.
and especially Fritz Walter wasn't. He's a legend for his attitude, his I try to translate the saying. The key to victory is
Oh, I know
is
the quote that you're
brotherhood and the
talking
will
about.
to give everything for each other.
Yeah.
And this is so much. This is so deep, and is, in my opinion, this is the perfect explanation for no, not explanation.
Or the meaning?
The meaning for football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's an attitude that is not very common
Nowadays,
in modern athletes today. It's all about the money.
And being the best and being better,
Yeah.
and they don't really care if they play for Bayern Munich this season and the next season for Dortmund and the next season for Real Madrid or something. But back then, he said, "Why should I change? I already play for Kaiserslautern."
Mm-hmm.
This is so huge. This is
Yeah.
this is love, brother.
Yeah. And I think that's what makes the team that we had last year so special, because you could tell when a group of players love each other.
Oh yeah.
And they support each other, because it's very easy to be positive when you're winning, because everything is going your way. Oh, the sun is shining and nothing can go wrong. But it's when you suffer adversity, when you lose a few matches, and especially last season when we thought we were going to go right up into the second league by finishing in second place, and for a while we had a chance to come into first.
Yep.
But then those last 4 games, we kind of just went down, and of course Marco Antwerpen was fired, and then they brought the new guy in, and it was 2 games. The season all came down to those final 2 games.
Oh yeah.
Hey, this is where we have to, put our arms around each other, lock our arms together, and we fight. And they did. And
Luckily.
That's what you need to survive now in that second league now. Yeah, you need the talent, but every guy has to fight for every other guy.
Absolutely, and 100% agree, brother. So, what do you think about, especially this kind of spirit which you're talking about, in our actual now present team, with the new guys, especially Durham, and in the goal, because I think that it hurts still that Raab left our team, but he is a very good keeper, very good keeper. But what are your thoughts about the new team?
I think we've really started out strong. If you were to tell me that in the first 2 matches in the second league that we would have 4 points out of 6, I'd have been like, hey, I'll take that. I will take that. Because right now, my thoughts about this season is stay in the second league. Don't be a yo-yo club like Eintracht Braunschweig, Ingolstadt. The teams are up and down and up and down. We got to hold on to the class and just learn each other, because there's new faces on that team. The new keeper from Union Berlin, I think, came from, right?
Yep.
So I'm not quite in touch with as many of the particulars about where these players come from. I know we have that Ncaa, the new, I think he's a forward or midfielder.
Midfielder.
I don't know where he came from.
Who cares? They're now in our team.
Yeah, exactly. But I like the fact that most of the players that got us here are still with us. You know, I think Zimmer is our captain, is an important part, because he was kind of like the heart and soul of that team last year. Terrence Boyd, good old Hal Boyd. I love that guy. I love him. So proud that he's still on the team. He's going to be a key component into keeping us up in the second division, I think. But yeah,
same thoughts over here.
Right now, we beat Hanover in the first match, which is a team that I was reading on Kicker that Hanover is one of the favorites to get promoted this season.
Yes.
And to go in and beat them in the first match was like, wow. Didn't expect that. I was like, oh, let's get a point. Let's a draw,
Yeah.
And then against Holstein Kiel, another team that's been in the second league now for I don't know how many years now. I think they've been in the second division now for
3 years now.
Yeah, 3 years now. Because I went to see them in 2019. I went to Stuttgart and watched VfB play Kiel in their stadium, and I think ended up being a draw. But I had to go and watch a Stuttgart match because I like that club too, and I love the city. I love Bad Cannstatt.
Yeah.
The Cannstatter Wiesen there.
Oh,
really cool.
Yeah. Very good concerts there.
Oh yeah, and of course the Cannstatter Curve, which is really their version of the West Curve, where all their ultras are. Get to experience that as an American, which was really cool. But yeah, I'm very happy with how we started the season. We've got St. Pauli, and I'm really looking forward to Karlsruhe. That's our only derby.
Yeah.
That's our only derby this year.
Yeah, unfortunately, because that was the only negative side of getting promoted, because we had 4 derbies in the last season and now just 2. But, well, what do you think about this situation? We stay in the second league. Karlsruhe stays in second league. Saarbrücken and Mannheim get promoted.
It's funny, you must have read my mind, because I was thinking about that on the way home from work. I'm like,
okay.
I want 1860 to come up.
Oh, of course.
I want them to win the third league. I want them to come in first place. But I wouldn't mind if Saarbrücken and Mannheim were to come up. Because as much as I like making fun of them, saying, hey, you're way down there and we're up here now.
Yeah.
I would much rather just beat them every time we play them.
I think like this how do you call it when you're making fun about somebody but you don't mean it like serious?
Yeah, you're being sarcasm.
I have my coworker is a huge Waldhof Mannheim fan. And we're always making fun about each other, but it's not a serious thing. We're liking each other, and if everything stays in the block, like with insultings or something, everything's fine, everything's cool. But when it gets like violent, I'm totally out. Really, this is just stupid. But I know the feel, bro. That what you just said. It's so great to say, you were making fun of us like 2 years ago. Where are we now? Excuse me, I just forgot where we are. Oh, second league. Where are you? So
how's the weather down there?
Yeah, exactly. So
it's like when Mainz would make fun of K-Town.
Yes,
like,
of course.
Oh, you're in the third league. We're in the Bundesliga. I'm like, yeah, how many trophies do you have in your case?
Exactly, and still we were in third league, they are in first league, and we beat them. So what are you talking about? We are still better with fan base and all the stuff. We're just better. Deal with it. But you just were talking about the game against Hannover, and I really think this is. It felt like a very old football game in Kaiserslautern, because we were in lead, we got the draw, and in the last seconds we scored again. And that was one of the things which K-Town was known for. I think it was... No, I don't want to say something wrong. So there was a guy from an enemy team, and they said, in Kaiserslautern the clock is running so long till Kaiserslautern wins. So the stoppage time keeps going till Kaiserslautern wins. So, and it really felt like the old Betzenberg. So the crowd was massive, loud, and I've been there. As I said, I'm very, very long a K-Town fan. when before they made it into a World Championship stadium, it was closer to each other. We had 38,000 people. Now we're 95,000. No, 49,000. Sorry, I'm always getting confused with English numbers. But it felt like the old days, and that really makes me happy. And seeing that we're already sold roundabout 37,000 tickets for Sunday. Especially for a Sunday game, I have to add to this situation that the train between Neustadt, where I'm living, and Kaiserslautern isn't going. They have like construction, yeah, always on the weekends, but still, and we have holidays in Germany. So this is real extreme, and this really feels like the old days, and I'm very, very happy that everybody is there, and I hope, and the time will come when we're losing games, that they still keep on the track and stay to Kaiserslautern.
Exactly. You mentioned it felt like the old days when I went to that match against Mainz in the Pokal in 2019, and we had just won, and there was a guy that had the they call it Kuda, the denim vest with all the patches. His name is Dieter. He stood right next to me in the West Curve there in block 8.1. And he didn't speak very much English, and I didn't speak very much German at the time, but he spoke enough to me to tell me this is what it used to be like every match.
Yeah.
When we beat Mainz, and all the everybody was going nuts, and the beer was going up in the air, and he said this is what it used to be like every Saturday, every match day.
Every match day, yeah.
And I'm glad, because now that we're back in the lower house of the Bundesliga, is what I guess they call it, in the second league. I don't see why that stadium won't be full every match day. I think it will be a full house.
Hopefully, not a complete sold out house, but a very packed house. And we're going in the direction which I really like to go, that more people getting again in touch and bringing their children, which I really like. Yeah. That I see so many fathers with their kids, and was it against, I don't know if it was against Freiburg or against Hannover, but I was standing at the Betzebut, and there was a guy, an old guy, walking with his son. So 3 generations. Wow. And I was looking at them, and they recognized me because of the videos, and I was able to talk to them for a second. And I asked them, and yes, these are grandpa, father, and son. And I said, this is making me so happy that I don't know if this is saying in English, but they pass on the flair of love for K-Town.
Exactly.
And that really made me so happy. And yeah. This is we were talking about the bad days in third league when we were almost getting relegated.
Yeah.
There was no such thing, because there were just the fans which are hardcore and say, I stay to my club no matter what. And no matter whether what. Oh my god. Yeah. Doesn't matter what come. And I'm so happy that this is coming back, and this just feels good. It really feels good. And you said that the 2 points out of 2 games for each game, 2 points, right?
Well, 4 points out of the first 2 out of
so that means
a possible 6, you get 4.
Exactly.
That to me is a very, very good start to what's going to be a very tough season, because now we're playing much better teams.
Yes, we do.
And sometimes we're going to have to, like when I sent you that voice message, I'm like, a lot of teams are going to look past us because, hey, we're just a third league club. We're not going to be around too much longer. We can just look past these guys till next week, and they're gonna fall asleep on the pitch, and we're going to get a lucky goal or we're going to get a good call our way that is going to result in us either maybe getting a draw and getting a point or getting a victory.
Yeah.
And we have to win every way that we can. There's no, some days we're going to win just by being a better team. Sometimes we're going to win because the other team wasn't thinking about us. Oh, we'll beat them easily and not take us serious. We're going to have to win in a lot of different ways this season. Period.
Absolutely. And you were saying that many teams look past us because, and I think that was why we just got luckily promoted. I think it was well deserved. So,
oh yeah.
But if you take like the amount of money which our team is worth and compare it to the other teams in second league, we're not very expensive. Like,
no.
I rounded up to 10 million, which we are worth, and St. Pauli now is 27 million roundabout. So they say, okay. Especially because St. Pauli was playing really good season last season. But on the other hand, have you been able to watch the game against Freiburg?
I did watch I watched the first half.
Yeah.
And then I saw, actually no, I didn't watch the first half. I watched the second half into the first extra time period.
Okay.
And then I had to, I was in a cornhole tournament.
Oh.
And so I stopped the live stream because it was our turn to play. And it's all right to blame me for that loss.
No.
But as soon as I turned it off, I had my OneFootball app set to give me notifications. As soon as I grabbed the ball or the I don't know if you're familiar with cornhole, but it's a game where you have two wooden platforms with a hole in the middle, and you have these sacks that are filled with like almost like bean bags.
Beanbags, yeah.
And you have to throw these bags onto the board, and if it goes in a hole, you get 3 points.
Okay.
If it lands on there, you get 1. And as soon as I grabbed it to make my first throw, my watch went off, and it said goal.
No.
I'm like, shit! And I threw the bag at somebody, and
oh my god, it's getting violent.
They're like, man, you're really serious about this. I'm like, of course, it's my team.
Yeah.
But
this is passion.
I was pissed for about 10 minutes, and then I'm like, oh, well, they played really good, against the semifinalists from last year.
No, the finalist.
Well, yeah, but they lost.
Oh yeah. Oh,
so
I'm sorry. I thought
Yeah.
semi-finalist is when you're in the last 4.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I should have said they came in second place in the tournament.
Exactly.
But that's very, very hard to do in that tournament.
It is, and
you have to respect that team.
Absolutely, especially because they're on a very good way to play international in Europe, and so we played so extremely good. Okay, the goal, we call it a Sonntagsschuss, which means a Sunday shot. Like out of 50 meters, you don't usually score a goal, but it was so amazing and well deserved at this place, and at this point, and we kept fighting, and well, at the end, yeah, we lost. But I'm so proud of my team that they fought so well, they gave everything, and I think we showed a huge exclamation mark to whole football Germany what we can do. Money doesn't score goals. Passion, fighting, love for your team, and doing everything for your team member, that is what makes a victory.
Exactly.
So this is why I'm very optimistic for the coming up game on Sunday, for the upcoming game on Sunday, because St. Pauli played against a 4th league team, and they barely won.
Yeah.
So that looks pretty good for us.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I love about the tournament, the Pokal. We have a very similar tournament here in America called the NCAA men's basketball tournament. They have the women's tournament too, but it's 64 teams that get put into a big chart, and it's you get placed in by your seed. So if you have the best record, you're a number 1 seed.
Mm-hmm.
And then the number 1 will play the number 16. It's not a random draw.
Okay.
But the teams will play, in a bracket, and the winner goes on to the next round. And it's the same kind of story that you have with the DFB Pokal.
Mm-hmm.
Is you have what's called a Cinderella team,
Mm-hmm.
a little club that comes out of nowhere and beats a team that's maybe 2 or 3 leagues above them, and they go very far. And it's the same thing happens in this tournament here, where you have a tiny little university that beats a really big university, and then they go all the way into like the round of 16, which they call the Sweet 16 in this tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I love the Pokal, because you never know what's going to happen. Oh, this is a little Oberliga club, they're going to get destroyed. Well, a lot of times they play very respectably.
Yeah,
because
they do.
Nobody expects them to.
I don't know if you heard it, but I'm 100% sure you did, that Elversberg just kicked out Leverkusen out of the Pokal. So this was very surprising. Greuther Fürth, also league member of the 2nd division, they got kicked out by a 5th or 5th league team.
I think it was the 5th league team. Yeah.
So
my friend
everything can happen.
Told me about that. Yeah.
It's like a surprise bag or something.
Well, it's luckily Bayer Leverkusen makes medicine, so they were probably taking a lot of pills that night to make the headache go away.
We call them pill turners in Germany. Like Pillendreher, it was like an insult for a doctor who's just making money not to help people, and there was an insult for them. So
pills,
So I was very happy about this, but I think the support of Freiburg and especially their fans, I really like them. I really like their coach. Mm-hmm. So I keep my fingers crossed that they will make it back into the finale and win it, into the final and win it.
And their fans, I think their fans are pretty friendly.
Yes, they are.
They're not assholes like some teams are.
Yes.
They're very welcoming. Even if you go to their stadium.
Yes, they are.
They're pretty welcoming to other clubs' fans.
There is St. Pauli, one of the best examples. They even let the Betzelied, our song of our team, they let it play in their stadium to keep to say us welcome.
Oh wow,
that's very nice. Yeah, yes,
that's very classy too.
Oh yeah. So St. Pauli is a club which I have much sympathy for. Mm-hmm. And I have never had a situation, but you can buy their cola with rum in the stadium.
Oh wow!
I have never had this ever again. No, they are really cool. So yeah, at least for us. So
that was one of my dreams that never actually took place. I really wanted to go to see the derby against Hamburg and St. Pauli.
Oh yeah, this is a huge thing.
And also I wanted to see Dortmund and Schalke, which is another big German rivalry there. Never got to happen. Because of the pandemic, kind of ruined a lot of people's plans. But,
oh yeah.
But at least I got to experience, K-Town, Mannheim, K-Town, Saarbrücken. That was special to be able to witness and be a part of a derby. I mean, going is for an American to even go to a German football match. It's special because not everybody likes the sport, but to be able to go on the road. I was at Mannheim when the whole guest block was on fire, and the ultras were breaking down the gates and the chairs were being thrown. Just to be in that environment, I tell my friends some stories about that. They're like, "Weren't you scared?" I'm like, "No, man. I was like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, my eyes were looking around, and when we tied it up." And everybody rushed to the fence, and we're starting to make it,
almost break.
They almost break it. And then after the match is when a lot of the ultras and I think some of the hooligans went onto the pitch, and then the police kind of drove them back. But to experience that as an American was really special for me because not everybody gets to see that kind of environment. And I was right
Yeah.
up front. I was telling you that I met, I think his name Daniel Henseman, the
Haseman,
young
yeah.
man that passed away recently. I got to meet him that day because he was right over here to my left with his megaphone.
1 second.
And yeah.
To him.
Oh yeah. But I got to meet him. That was the first time that I got to meet him because I had never been that close. And he was really happy that an American was not only at the match, but down in with all the ultras, like right up front. He's like, things can get a little dangerous here. I'm like, I'm ready, man. You know? I should have brought my American football helmet, you know, with the big cage in the front. But
yeah.
That match too was really special for me to be not only at a derby, but a derby in your enemy's stadium.
Yeah.
And where you're only 3,000 fans or however many we had that game, and you're outnumbered. And if you win, well, you're probably going to be chased out of the city.
Exactly. It's
but
very
it was
special.
Really, that was so cool.
For you as an American, is it the football culture is special, I think. Do you have like I've been to a baseball game once, and to be honest, you know, I'm visually handicapped, so keeping in track what's going on the pitch is very, very hard for me in football. But baseball was completely no, I didn't see anything, but there hasn't been any like real recognizable chance or something.
Yeah.
Not like we have in football. What were your first thoughts about being in the stadium and hearing this loud and extreme crowd?
Well, American football is it can be pretty rowdy too. Not to the same level as like having ultras and hooligans and the pyro and the choreography. That doesn't really happen. Yeah, if we see another fan from another team, like my American football team is the Browns, and our big rival is Pittsburgh, and they're the next city, maybe 2.5 hours away. It doesn't really get to the point where, you can't walk on the street because you might get assaulted. It's usually just a lot of trash talking. Oh, your team sucks, and middle fingers.
That was the word I was looking for. Trash talk.
Trash talking, yeah.
Thank you.
Shit talking.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That happens all the time. But really, it doesn't really happen in the stadium where there's violence. I mean, usually when there's alcohol involved, somebody will talk trash, and then a little fight will break out. But the guest fans sit right in with the hometown fans. There's no.
Oh, really?
There's no guest block. There's no.
Really?
That doesn't exist here. There's usually the guest fans will buy the cheap seats way up high because they're inexpensive, but yeah, there's no guest block here, that was the one thing that was like surprising to me, which I kind of liked, because here is your own little place in the stadium for you to be with your fans and not have to worry about being, having a bottle thrown at you or to get punched from behind. Although I know in the past there has been violence from, teams that they break into the guest block, but that generally doesn't happen that often.
Exactly, yeah.
But that was a really neat thing for me to see. Oh, they have a guest area in the stadium for these people to go and sit with each other, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, we don't even have like derbies here. I mean, we have big rivalry matches, but they don't get to the same level as like a derby would be.
I think it is one thing could be that America is compared to Germany is a freaking huge country, so everybody so it's stretched further away.
Far away.
So as I said, my coworker is a Waldhof Mannheim fan. So my boss is Eintracht Frankfurt fan, which is also a huge rival of us. So you always meet them, you see them, and this is why you said it earlier. The derby between Dortmund and Schalke is so extreme because they're so close and attached to each other, and this makes these games even more special because you have to live with the shame of being the loser out of a derby, and seeing your coworker with making trash talk all the time for like a half a year till you have the chance to make a revenge.
Yeah, and that's sports. That's what I like about sports, because I have friends that are fans of the opposing team too. And so on match day, talk your trash, but when the game is over and you go back to work, then you still talk trash, but you're friendly about it.
Yeah.
And that's the way it should be in everything, I think.
Absolutely.
Because I think derbies and the ultras and the pyro and all that stuff, that's part of football.
It is.
I think that's one of the most important things about especially German football. Because I've been to, I watch Premier League. I watch the Scottish Premiership with FC the Kilmarnock.
Kilmarnock.
Yep. Watching a match in their stadium, no offense, but it's kind of boring because they don't have the ultras. They don't have people that stand up, because you can't stand. Well, you can't drink. You can't drink beer in the stadium, and you can't really stand. So it's kind of like you're sitting there watching a game like this, and it's like, this is like watching a baseball game in America. You kind of just clap for them.
Yeah.
But, you get to really appreciate the fan culture in German football, and I think it's more European football, because I've seen some pretty crazy Greece teams, some of the Eastern European nations. They all
Poland.
they have a very big. I think it's mainly Germany and East have that culture of ultras, and even maybe France too. I think
France has Spain,
Mm-hmm.
but I think one of the most crazy things I've ever saw was from Madagascar.
Mm-hmm.
I have to show the video. It is simply crazy. It is completely nuts what's going on there, and of course the Argentina fans and ultras, Brazilian ultras. This is a completely other level of being a fan. Like, I always recommend this when I'm talking about this. The series is called International Football Factories. It's always it's like a 20-minute episode every time, and it's Danny Dyer from the movie in Football Factory, sorry, and he's traveling around the world and meeting the hooligans and seeing them and showing their story, and well, it is harsh for me to see people punching each other.
Yeah.
Then it's even harder when they use like sticks or rocks or something. But yeah, he was shot in the bus with the hooligans were shot in Brazil. So this is this is just that doesn't make any sense to me anymore. Well, I love my club. I really love my club, but this is a little bit too hard.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, tiny bit.
Now, speaking of ultra culture, I remember hearing this told to me. It must have been 2019. My friend Julian told me that K-Town was the first club in Germany to use either pyro or choreography. He said that we were the first to do it. Is that true? Have you heard this before?
I made a whole video about it. That is absolutely true. We were the first team which had not a choreo but a block flag, which covers the whole block. Like there were before, like when you raise up some paper planches thingies to make like a logo or picture, something.
Yeah.
Exactly. But we were the first with a block flag, and we brought the pyrotechnic to Germany. We did.
That's special. because I'm definitely, you know, where I stand about pyro. I think, you know, no pyro, no party.
Exactly.
That belongs in football. If anybody from the DFB or FIFA is listening to this video, you need to stop charging teams for pyro displays. It's not hurting anybody. It's part of the color of the game, and it's so important for that set of fans to do their thing and in a safe environment, not shooting, you know, bengalos or whatever into explosives. That's, you don't even need that.
Very,
Right.
very good point. You just said it. Nobody gets hurt.
Yeah.
And the reason why people are getting hurt is because they don't want to get caught waving a flare or something, a bengalo or whatever.
Yeah.
And this is why they're treating it not correctly. But if you just make it a legal thing, like we have in other European countries, where they have like at the train stations in Germany, we have like smoking areas where you have like a sign on the floor that you can smoke. Yeah. Do the same thing in the ultras block. There is going to be pyro. And if you're standing there, you have to live with the smoke, with the smell, with the situation. But just go like this. And the funny thing is that the DFB said no, the bengalos are way too hot. And yes, they are. They are around about 1,100 grad Celsius.
Yeah.
So they brought up the Danish version of bengalos with 300 grad Celsius, which is like, I had one of them, and when he was the flame, I made like this, and I was perfectly fine. No, still too hot. So this is no way to discuss the situation. And we talked about Hannover 96 earlier, and they tried to make a pilot project with a pyro platform, which was now very hard to say, pyro platform. And they
got a good ring to it.
the ultras paid for them by themselves. And as soon as the first game was coming up and they would like to start this project, the DFB said, no, we changed our minds. Thank you very much for the talk. Really, this is no way how to treat the football fan. No.
All it is a money grab.
Exactly.
If you look, any kind of fine that, you know, a league will put on a club for the behavior of the fans. Yeah. Well, number one, the club, it's not the club's fault. So why are you charging, you know, whatever it is, 10,000 euro for a pyro display?
10,000? Dynamo Dresden just had to pay 300,000 bucks.
Wow. Was that for the match against us?
Yep. Oh, because there were a freaking amount of flares, and they threw it on the pitch, and well, of course they were trying to attack the players.
I saw that. Yeah, that was kind of like Mainz when they burnt their own banner to the ground.
That was really funny.
Although I think it was the Ordners that did that, because when they were throwing their flares, one of the Ordners kicked the flare to their flag, the Q block power.
Should I tell you something? If they wouldn't have thrown it, the security guy couldn't have kicked it. Exactly. Keep the pyro in the block.
Yeah.
That's the conclusion here, I think. Exactly.
But 300,000. That's a lot of money.
It is.
That's really crazy.
I would take it.
Yeah.
So, getting back on track with K-Town. So, what are your prognosis for the upcoming season with the way the guys played in the first two games, and especially in the poker game?
Well, my opinion has, as I stated earlier, hold the class. You know, aim for promotion. I mean, we already know what it's like to win the second league and then go up and win the first league. It's been done. We were the only club in Bundesliga history to ever do that.
Exactly.
So, would be neat to get promoted, win the second, and then win the Bundesliga. But I'm not smoking marijuana right now, so
Me neither.
I'm gonna keep things a little bit more real. I just want to finish respectably in the second league this year. Maybe in the middle would be nice. I think the trainer said that their goal was 50 or 60 points this year, or 50 points was their goal, to get 50 points, which would make them easily around the middle of the table.
Yeah, 10th or 9th. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to be anywhere down on the bottom.
No.
Where there's a chance where if you have a bad spell, you can drop into that relegation zone.
Nope.
I really like what Hansa Rostock has done since they've been promoted. They haven't been down at the bottom. They've been right around in that middle section, which is very respectable when you consider the competition, the level of play that is going on in the second league. I think it's the most entertaining league in the in German football, because everybody knows who's going to win the Bundesliga every year. It's the same team. But when you look at the second league, you have all this really good competition to get the chance to go up into the first league. And I think that's really exciting, to be a part of that competition that's trying to fight to get to the biggest stage in German football, the Bundesliga.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I can't agree more. And you, at the beginning, you said you don't want to be a yo-yo club.
Yeah.
So I think the best and most important thing is, how do you say it? You have to... We should stay in second league for, let's say, 3 or 4 more years and form ourselves.
Exactly.
Collecting money, of course. Football is a money game, no doubt about it. And second league is, compared to the third league, a huge gap. What about money? So this is a huge gap. But if we stay in second league, and in 5 years we're going to attack at the top, I think.
Yeah, it takes time to have that, to form that what do you call that, coherence, and to get the chemistry between players, because there's a lot of new faces this year. You know, we lost Rob, which I was really sad that he left. I couldn't believe that he left. To see him celebrate when we got promoted, he was the first guy that was, hey, we did it. And
especially to a league enemy, to Hamburg.
To sit on the bench. He's not a starter, I don't think.
No. He's a very good player, but really, don't get me wrong, but he's not as good as their number one. I have no clue what his name is, but to sit on the bench, as you said, I said too many times what as you said, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But but I think that the core of the team stuck together.
Yeah.
And
Herrscher, Zook, Boyd from last year, Zimmer. So many players that are. I'm struggling to think of them all right now that are because so many have come and so many have gone. Mike Wunderlich, Rene Klingenberg.
He's in discussion to leave.
Yeah, I've heard about that, but Mike Wunderlich, I think, is another guy that I think is very critical to
Wunderlich, not Klingenberg.
Yeah.
This way around, I'm sorry.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Did I tell you the story about when I saw K-Town in that test game?
No, you didn't.
I have to tell you. That was so funny. Bella and I have been in Schifferstadt, which I lived before, and they had a test game. And we were at the toilet and walking back on our place, and there was, to say Bella's words, to quote her, there's the guy with the wings tattooed on his neck, and I was like, oh, that's Klingenberg, and I was just want to pass him and say hello, and he looked up, he saw me and said, "Oh, I know you. You're Matze. I always watch your videos."
Holy shit!
Oh my god!
Wait, you're the celebrity, not me.
Exactly. Then I was like, okay, I know that some players watch my videos. I know this, but that he recognized me by name, that really made me proud. Really, I was so happy.
Oh, wow.
I was like, oh, I think I just lost my a ball is running through my leg, which is a common saying, and he was laughing, and I was like, oh my god,
time to change your pants real quick.
Exactly. I was so happy. Oh man, that really made me proud, man.
Speaking of changing, beer number 2.
Me too. Prost.
I can't quite make the eye contact because I know that's 7 years of bad sex if you don't make your eye contact if you're cheering.
That doesn't work. I have to look at the computer. There you go.
Exactly. That's the first thing that I actually learned here is when you tap your glass and you make prost, you have to look each other in the eye.
Yeah.
Or you don't want to know what will happen.
Oh, for handicapped people like me, it's very hard because looking someone in both eyes at the same time is a very hard task for me. It's almost impossible. Yeah. This is why no. Oh man, that really makes fun. Thanks again for that awesome idea, man.
This is great, man. It's almost like we're sitting in the Zwölfte Man.
Oh yeah.
Right now, I remember right before I made my journey back home here to Cleveland, and we both met up at the Zwölfte Man like it was a match day, and I think I was going to be leaving in the next 2 or 3 days, and I go, let's go to the bar, have a couple of beers like it was a match day, and I think this was back when they were back to the Geisterspiel. They were playing the ghost match. Yeah,
the ghost matches.
And it was like, man, well, we can't go to the stadium, so we'll do the next best thing, and we'll go to the Zwölfte Man, have a couple more beers before I leave, and that was neat, man, because it was like, we couldn't go to the stadium, but the camaraderie and the family was still there, and that's the most important thing. That we survived that, and now we're in the second league, and now that the team is, successful again, there's going to be more people in the city spending money, going to the fan shop, and all that money is going to, it's going to overflow into, the bars, the restaurants.
Yeah.
So when K-Town gets promoted, everybody takes advantage of that. Everybody benefits from it. The club does, the fans, all the shops. K-Town is going to get big again because people are going to be, hey, it's Saturday, we're going to go up to the Betzenberg, and then we're going to go to the Altstadt and eat at the Brauhaus, or we'll go to the Hannenplatz, and get a big. That's what I miss. My friend Christian Huberty works at the Brauhaus, and I was telling him the other day on Matzes, man, I really miss the Brazil schnitzel there.
Oh yeah, man. Highly recommended. If any one of you had the chance to go to the Brauhaus, taste it. Awesome.
Oh, yeah, and the beer is all handgemacht, handmade. Right there on premises, in that building. And the portion sizes are really good. So bring your appetite there, and you will not leave without a smile on your face.
Yeah, you won't. And I just try to avoid it. You said, as you said, I always have to say it today. I have no idea why. The hotels are getting very much money from all the fans which are coming to K-Town. There are guys living in northern Germany, the Nordic Devils, die Teufelsbrocken Kiel, Rote Teufel Ammerland, the Berliner Bagage, not from northern Germany, but from Berlin, far away. And they're coming for all the games, and they stay in K-Town. This is so nice, seeing like the city getting back on their feet because Kaiserslautern is playing so good. Yeah. This is just awesome.
And I mean, I know the entire world suffered with the pandemic.
Oh yeah.
You know, with the lockdown, so many businesses got closed. Um, my dear friend Oogie that ran the Sports Bar 55 in K-Town, to see him have to close his restaurant was, that was the first place that I wanted to go to when I got back
Mm,
there. Uh, and like, I think a month before, yeah, we survived the pandemic, we survived the second shutdown, but he couldn't keep enough money to keep
yeah.
open. And that was a very important place because of all the fan groups like Vis and Betsa. That was where we went to watch the match
Mm,
during the time where they had the Geisterspiels.
mm,
And then if the team was on the road and you couldn't go, well, we went to Oogie's to watch the match because he had all those TVs and he was a local business
yeah.
and we wanted to support him. So when you think of all that K-Town went through, not only through the pandemic, but with all of the loss of money and people, and almost on the point where we were going to be relegated to the fourth league,
Yeah.
to see the team and bring the city back up into second league territory, where now people want to travel. Hey, we're going to go to the stadium this year. We're going to watch a few matches. Maybe we'll buy a season pass, a Dauerkarte.
Yeah.
We'll get a season pass,
Yeah. Yeah.
and all that money will end up trickling down into the city. Whether you're buying a beer at Hannenfoss, which another place that I love, Hannenfoss.
Yeah. Hard and fast. Awesome.
I'm taking a trip down memory lane right now and seeing all these places in my mind that, oh, it's Friday night. I should be in the Altstadt right now.
Oh yeah, with
but
all our friends.
Oh yeah. But it's only going to do the city good. The better the team gets, and then, wow, if we make it back to the Bundesliga, the top flight, can you imagine what the city is going to be like there? There's going to be new places opening because there's so many people there
Yeah.
that want to, especially on Saturday or Sunday, whenever they play, they want to be back there.
But what's coming in my mind right now is not just because we are getting, so the K-Town fans are getting back into the town and celebrate victories and stuff, but the guest team, they bring a huge support compared to, let's say, Ferl, let's say Victoria Berlin, Victoria Cologne or something.
Groß Asbach.
Groß Asbach. Greetings to them.
20.
Yeah. Oh, they can live in a how do you call it, Airbnb.
Yeah.
All
One
of
room.
them.
In one room.
Yeah. So we have a competition to HSV, to St. Pauli, to Hansa Rostock. We have Nuremberg. We have so many teams which always bring a huge amount of fans, and this is money bringing to our
City, yeah.
Yeah, to the city.
Speaking of away fans, that's one thing that I was going to actually talk to you about.
Yeah.
What club travels the best in German football? I think Hansa Rostock, with they're way up north. I think aren't they the most northern club that plays right now?
Oh,
Or is there a team that's even further
Kiel.
north?
I don't know if I have to draw the line between them, but like real. I have no idea if Kiel is a little bit further north. My God, that is a real tough call because, let's say, Bayern Munich always fills up the guest block because they have fans in whole Germany, as well as Cologne.
Yeah.
But the team which has the biggest away support by themselves, I would say, is, as is, you said it again, is Hansa Rostock.
Yeah.
Because they're really a real great fan base.
Yeah.
Dynamo Dresden. Dortmund. And I don't want to seem cocky, so this is why I left us out, but we fill the guest block like every time. Really every time. And it's always nice to see, like, the away game in Kiel, that they opened up a usually closed block just for us. Because we were desperate for cards, so...
oh, yeah.
Nuremberg has also a very, very good ultra scene.
Hmm.
Yeah, Schalke.
I
So, yeah.
remember seeing.
Frankfurt. Oh my God, I have
They
problems
better,
with them.
I mean, they're only an hour and a half away. They better show up. You know?
Oh, you mean when they come to us? I meant you said in total Germany, because Frankfurt has played in the UEFA Cup with 30,000 people away.
Wow.
That was huge. In Barcelona, I think it was. I'm not so real into Frankfurt, so.
Yeah,
but
me neither.
What is the best away support I've ever seen in Kaiserslautern? That is also a tough call.
I was gonna say, I remember seeing Rostock always.
Yeah, Rostock. They filled everything
the big
there.
Banners and the colors and everything like that, and it's red, white, and blue, and it's like, I see that, I'm like, oh, that's pretty crazy to see that. And of course, Mannheim always filled the block, but that's natural. That's a derby.
Of course.
But
Schalke was extreme back then, and we won 5-0.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but they were huge. Yeah,
have you ever been to a game in Dortmund?
Unfortunately not. I've never stood.
That was my goal, is to see the Gelbe Wall. The
Wall.
The
Gelbe Wand.
Yeah.
To see this once. Mark, the guy which I'm doing videos together?
Yes.
Yeah. He said he was late for the game in Dortmund. And he said he was walking up to the block, the stairs, and he just stood there and was so impressed about the picture he saw with the yellow wall. Mm-hmm. He said he never ever saw something like this, and he was so impressed. So I really need to do this. And I got a viewer, and he invited me to be together with him in the block. So.
Oh wow!
In the Gelbe Wand.
Is it this coming season?
He said he has a ticket, and we find a date.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
That would be neat. Now that Schalke is back up there.
No. I don't want to take the ticket for such a special game. I'm just there as a football fan, but I don't want to take the spot of a real hardcore Dortmund fan. Yeah. So that wouldn't be a nice move, if you ask me.
Now, are you gonna wear K-Town colors when you go in there?
Oh, I don't know if this is a very good idea.
You're in the second league.
Yeah, of course, but they have like fans. Yeah, but I always wear like my Drinking Devils shirt. So this is no catchy
it's not
thing.
A direct, they won't be able to say, oh, you're a K-Town fan.
Exactly.
Here's my favorite question. And I thought about this. I know you've been watching games your entire life.
Yeah.
Can you name the best match or your favorite FCK memory that you've ever had? Whether it's a match or...
Yeah. There are a couple of them. I just point out a few. Of course, I was 10 years old. Unfortunately, way too young to celebrate it as much as I would right now when we got the German championship. But I've been in K-Town for the celebration, and I was standing. There was a balcony above us from the how do you call like the house where the whole city is run by?
The Rathaus.
The Rathaus, yeah. But what's the English word?
We would call it like City Hall.
Thank you, City Hall.
Or the city. I mean, some have a town hall. If it's a smaller village, we have like City Hall because we're a bigger city. We have, I think, 400,000 residents now in Cleveland. But yeah, the Rathaus would be called pretty much the town hall or city hall.
Yeah, and there were a balcony above me, and as I said, I have to stop to say this, and I was standing there with 10 years, and I was looking up, and Olaf Marschall raised up the Schale, the Pokal, like, and this made so much impression to me, and it felt so great. And even now, when I'm thinking about it, I get goosebumps on my arms because
like...
this is real. That is so much. I think that was these seconds where I know I dedicated my life to this freaking club.
Yeah.
And then there were many games I have very good thoughts about, but to point out one was the 2-0 between Kaiserslautern and Bayern Munich, the opening game on the Betzenberg, and the 2 goals were, we scored, we were cheering, we were yelling the name of the player who scored, and then we yelled the score. We're yelling the score, and then we scored again.
Oh, wow.
It was 2 minutes, 2 goals. That was just nuts. And then the 3-0 against Cologne, when we on the last match day of the season, we avoided the relegation. That was also... It was a cloudy day, but it started raining, and then it was like a greeting from Fritz Walter, because Fritz Walter Wetter, you know.
Wetter,
and
Fritz Walter Wetter.
And then we
You're
scored.
gonna get me starting to sing these chants again, you know.
Yeah, good. And then we scored, and we scored again, and we scored again. And the funny thing it was the first goal, and I was jumping up, and I was trying to hug my brother, and we're turning, and he was jumping up again, and he hit me so hard here that it cut open and was bleeding like hell. But who cares, man? We scored, and I was sitting on the goal, on the top line. How do you call it?
Top post. Yeah, the post.
The post of the... Whoa!
Is that what happened? Did the post like crack and you're like, whoa?
No, thank you very much. I was thinner back then, okay?
Hey, we're portly guys here.
Yeah.
It's all right. There's no shame in that, man.
And sitting there, seeing all the people on the pitch and celebrating, and that was really, really great. The 5-0 against Schalke was also very emotional for me. And there was one game which changed not my life, but the life of my mother's. I was in a relationship with a girl in America. Okay. And my mother took my season ticket and watched the game between Kaiserslautern and Duisburg, 4-1. And my now stepfather was a security guy there, and they met. And here's the fun story. My brother, we knew him for a long time, and he was walking up to him and said, "Hey, are you single?" And he was like, "What are you talking about?" And my brother said, "No, not for me, my mother." And now they're married. And I was in the lucky situation to make their wedding speech.
Okay, yeah.
And I started up with...
So you were like the best man then?
Almost, kind of. Almost. I was just the guy who made the speech. And I started up with... 47. Spielminute, Tor für den 1. FC Kaiserslautern, to make it sound like in the stadium. Mm-hmm. And this was the total build-up for the whole speech. And yeah, there are so many emotions which I connect to Kaiserslautern. There are many harsh emotions. The relegation on my 30th birthday, which was very sad for me. And... getting relegated into the second league, I cried tears because we got promoted. So this is something which you can't explain to someone who doesn't feel the love for a club. Exactly. I have coworkers, and I always try to make them understandable what it means to be so dedicated to a club. And they always say, "No, I don't get it. Even though if I tell them, I came up with a saying, And it's like away days are great if they wouldn't be interrupted by this freaking game every time.
Yeah.
Because we played against Rostock away. We started at 0:30 at the morning and came back at 3 a.m. the next day. You sit in the bus for the whole day. You drink, you talk, you play some traveling games with dice or something, or cards, or do
Yahtzee.
Yahtzee, exactly.
I love Yahtzee.
Yeah, or we have this with two dices. We call it Mexican, and you have to drink a lot. That's the whole reason.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, me too. For me too. And it is. This is just, they are friends, and you share the love to your club with these people. And here's a thing which I always try to make someone understandable. We love K-Town. You love it, I love it. So.
It's my second home. Literally. I mean, I say that, you know, people, oh, well, that's just what people say. I'm like, no, like, I spent, you know, of course, I spent most of my life here in Cleveland, but, you know, I traveled in the military. I've traveled around the world, but I spent the second longest amounts of my life in K-Town. So it literally has been my second home over there. So I meant that real, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, 3 years of my life, it was in that one place, which is, you know, a lot.
Yeah. So, and the love which are you feeling about Kaiserslautern and I feel. So, we can meet someone at the end of the world which has the same love as we have for Kaiserslautern, for his team, somewhere, who cares, wherever on this world.
Yeah.
And you can start talking to him, and he knows what you're talking about, and you know what he's talking about, because we share the same love.
Yeah.
And football is connection.
Yeah.
And that is just great, but if you don't feel it, you don't feel it.
Yeah. And I know if it wasn't for my love of the club that we both support, I don't know how my life would have been over in K-Town. Most of my friendships, most of my good memories all revolve around the club, whether it's watching a match in the stadium with friends, talking about it over a beer, being on the road, becoming a member of this family has opened so many more doors over there for me that I would have met you had I not been interested in learning more about K-Town and the club. I was there for maybe 2 months, and like, oh, well, let me go on YouTube and find FC Kaiserslautern or whatever. And I typed it in there, and I think your channel was one of the first ones that came up as like, you know, people watch this. It's like in that suggestion box down on the bottom. And like, oh, Matz's Daily Madness. I'm like, oh, he's German, but he has an English, you know, channel. I'm like, that's pretty cool. Matz's Daily Madness. And I would go to a match, and then I would watch your videos after, the day after. I'm like, I need to go meet with this guy and say, hey, you know, I'm an American that just came here. I love your channel. And that's how I met you that one time. I met you. I'm like, Matze, dude, I watch your YouTube channel. And you're like, oh, that's really cool that an American is watching it, you know. And like they say, the rest is history.
Yeah.
You know, here we are in 2023 or 2022.
Making our first English video on this channel.
Exactly. And it's like, if I had never become a fan of the club, all these people that I love would probably not be in my life right now. So there's that sporting element of it, and loving a sport and becoming involved in a club, and then the other aspect of meeting all these people because of the team and getting to meet amazing people from the team. I've met Airman. I've met many players
I'm jealous.
During the friendly matches, you know, the training spiels that they have. You know, I've got pictures with Sasha Hildman. All these, I met Chifchi in the city a few times. Florian Pick one time, and I really miss that guy, by the way. Pick.
Yeah, that was always funny.
And we get to play him this season.
Oh yeah.
FC Heidenheim, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Which, by the way, I'm gonna segue into another quick story. I have a friend. Her name is Diana, and we went to this little bar in K-Town called Carmelian. It's on Richard Wagner Strasse and Pirmasens right at the corner there. There's a little gold and silver Verkauf pawn shop kind of thing, resale shop. And I became a regular because I lived in that neighborhood. So I started going there for a Weinschorle or a beer. And we started, oh, you're American? And she spoke really good English. And I'm like, yeah, I'm from Cleveland. And she started telling me about, hey, I'm really good friends with this American player. And his name is Tom Dooley. And through her, I got to meet Tom. We went to Vogelvoog, the little lake in, not Gelsersvoog, but Vogelvoog, which is a smaller little lake there. And come to find out, he played for my American club, Columbus Crew. He left, he played for K-Town, won the Meisterschaft in he was part of the 1991 club, I think.
Yeah, he was.
And then he played for the German national team, and then he eventually played for the U.S. men's national team, and then ended up playing in what we call the MLS, Major League Soccer. I think he played for New York, and then he played for the Crew, which is in my state. And so through her, I get to meet Tom. I hung out with him for 3 or 4 hours. We had dinner, and at one point, I got an autographed tricoat of him from the Crew through Diana with some pictures.
Oh.
I think I got it actually here. Hold on, I got to take off my thing here. Hold on. There we go. So that's my little.
Oh my God.
My little display here with his autograph. That's me with Tom down there in the bottom.
That is so cool, man.
With K-Town. So I've got this here. And I'm eventually going to get that put back on my wall. I have to reframe it because that's a really cool piece of history. Because that forms a direct connection between my club here and K-Town. And I would love, another goal of mine, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I really want to form a fan friendship between K-Town and Columbus. Because
that would be great.
Because all of the old school Columbus Crew people know who Tom Dooley is. So like, oh, he played for here. He was a really good player, and they respect his career in K-Town. But I think there's a way to form. He could be like the bridge that kind of brings those two clubs together. Kind of like Killy and in K-Town. They may be really far away on the map, but that little connection can bring those two sets of fans together. And I don't know how to do it.
We figure something out.
I think I just have to start going to some matches. I mean, Columbus is maybe 2 hours by car from where I live. And I will start going to see some matches probably in the next couple months. But like I said, everybody there that I've talked to on the forums, they know FC Kaiserslautern and they know Tom Dooley. I'm like, well, let's start.
You're talking about Tom Dooley. Is this guy on the picture and the one I got this jersey from? No, that's really cool, man.
I think it would be good. I mean, now that the club is in the second division, maybe we can get the two teams to have a friendly match. Maybe once a year, K-Town can travel to the U.S., and maybe once a year, Columbus can travel to Germany and play in Fritz-Walter Stadion in a friendly, and the two fan bases come together, and
this could be
all
the
of a
start.
sudden, in Ohio, there's going to be a lot of people from K-Town in.
Yeah. Turn off your phone.
Yeah, my FaceTime went off, and I'm on a Mac, so it rings everywhere.
Everything's fine, brother.
Yeah.
Man, this is... No,
pretty fun.
I thought I lost my thought. Damn. No, but I think this is a very good idea that because let's say it like this. I think the way football is played in different countries is very interesting. And playing against an American team would be a very, very interesting thing.
Oh, yeah. And we have a lot of international players here on our club. We have guys that are American. We have guys that are English, German, Brazilian, Mexican. I mean, we pull from all these different countries to form our team. It's almost kind of like you know, when you look at some of the Premier League clubs that play in England, like Liverpool, and they have some English players, but a lot of their talent comes from other countries, Africa, Spain, Europe, some American players. So it's a very multicultural team that they form. And that's the same way with a lot of the American football clubs. They have a lot of, some Americans, but a lot of people from Brazil and all these other countries that produce really good talent, because America really isn't a
football country.
It's not a developing football country. I mean, we're slowly getting interest in it, but we're not a place where countries look, hey, we need a new player on our team. Let's go look for an American player. It's just we're more concerned about American football, basketball, baseball, hockey. You know, that's kind of where the American focus is. But I think America is slowly catching on with the sport as far as popularity and watching it. Tomorrow morning, I am going with my friend Damien down to an English pub at 10 in the morning, and we're going to watch Southampton play.
Oh, very nice.
That's my Premier League club. I have no connection to England, but he's a friend of mine that lives in Cleveland now. He's a big 1860 Munich fan.
Woo.
So we both support our dear Lion friends, and he's got me interested in Southampton. They're not good. They're not a glory team. They're a working class, blue collar football team, and that's all I need. You know.
Exactly.
So we're going to wake
honest
up
football.
Tomorrow. Yeah, exactly. So we're going to go watch them in the morning, and now I will have another team to follow.
Oh my God! You have to keep track of everything.
Oh, I know. It's going to be football for all weekend, pretty much. So.
Sounds awesome.
Sunday morning at 7:30 will be Kaiserslautern, St. Pauli. So I will have to not go party too hard on Saturday night. So
no,
I can
you
wake
can't.
Up early and watch the match.
Okay, very nice words. What are your prediction for the upcoming game?
Oh, my tip. Oh, St. Pauli at home. I'm going to have to go with, for some reason, I think 3-2.
3-2, okay.
I think we're going to win. I think we're going to go into halftime at maybe 2 goals to 1. And then I think they're going to tie it shortly after halftime. And I think in what we call in America clutch time, I think we're gonna pull ahead and we're gonna win 3-2. That's
okay.
My prediction.
Okay.
So a lot of emotion, a lot of atmosphere.
Oh yeah.
I have to see.
No doubt about that.
ESPN Plus carries that match because they don't carry everyone. It's a subscription service kind of like Sky, but over there Sky carries all the matches. Here ESPN Plus, they don't have every match.
Oh,
so
okay.
I have to actually tune into the app tonight to see if it's being broadcast.
Okay. I keep my fingers crossed.
Oh yeah. And what about what is your tip on Sunday?
You know me, I don't bet on my team, so I don't say any prediction, but let me say it like this. I'm very positive that we're going to have a very, very good game with 3 points at the end.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, brother. I think we talked a lot. More than I expected.
1 hour, 41 minutes.
Oh, that's awesome. Hey, that's a football game with stoppage time.
It seems like we just started like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, brother, then one last Prost.
Prost.
Cheers, my friend.
Zum Wohl.
Zum Wohl.
Zum 3 Punkt.
3 Punkte. Okay, everybody. It was such a nice time with my good friend over here. Thank you very much for your time. And I talked to him, and we're trying to make it like a 2-week basis round about this. I think that's a good rhythm. And we talk about what's going on in Kaiserslautern. Okay, brother. See you next time. Love ya. Take care. And the last words belong to you.
Tschüss.
Very quick. See you.
We'll see you in the block.
Exactly.